Hey you guys, this is my third time trying to make this video because I feel like I keep leaving stuff out. So I'm going to make two videos. Um, what I want to talk about is a vision that I had. It basically was like a piece of paper flying um, into my room on this basket. On this basket happens to be neon pink. I'm looking at it now, but anyway, I don't know. It may tie into what I'm about to talk about in a second. So anyway, I didn't know what it was. I just felt like something just flew into my room and attached itself to this basket. And what happened the next day was I opened my glass door and there was a real estate letter, not letter, but a paper showing the comps to our neighborhood and what they believe our house may be valued at based on the comps. My husband's thinking about selling the house and this, that, and the third. So anyway, if he did, it would be a debt relief. So it kind of startled me, almost like the vision, because this guy would have had to open the glass door and put it on my actual wood door. So nonetheless, I would like for my husband to consider selling the house. Long story short, so it reminded me of that dream of where I got my release papers and we were going home, and I was going home in a week, and I knew that some of the other people were going to be have to stay in jail. I was being released from prison, and a brother did a video on how our bondage would be over coming up soon. Maybe I'll just link it below. It's pretty interesting. And also, in that dream, I knew I was going home in a week, and I shouldn't be afraid to. I should just. I should have just accepted it and tried not to focus on who was going to be staying, basically. And so I believe it could have represented 7 months. Not only that, because we didn't go home in a week, but I believe this is the 6th month, and the 7th month might be next month. I don't remember. I'm trying to find the dream. So anyway, regardless of that, the debt cancellation on the Jubilee year. This is the Jubilee year 5777, and I just didn't. This was months ago, almost 7 months ago, you guys. So at least six. I want to say I can't find the dream. I have to look for it, and I'll do another update. But this paper vision reminded me of that. If there's more to come from it, I'll let you guys know. But a debt cancellation, debt free, oh nothing. Jesus paid it all. Time to go. Anyway, so what else? I had a vision of small speckly particles right after I did that first dream on the pink, Jesus coming back in a weekend of this weekend. I'll talk about that in a second. So, and I wasn't thinking that I was having a vision initially. So I was asking the Lord, am I having a vision, basically? And I wrote it down. And the only thing that I saw, because it wasn't as dreamy and as uh, the experience that I felt when I first had it, um, I knew it was a good thing, kind of a continuation of the worship that I did earlier that day. Basically, I already made a video on it, so I don't want to get into that. But these tiny specks were more of a solid not, these are more of a solid, like a tiny, 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 tiny bubble. Like I could see the outline of them. So anyway, on the news, CBS was doing a series, a live documentary in South Korea. They were on the ground, and they were also with a pilot, a U.S. Air Force pilot. And when they showed that on his windshield were these tiny, tiny specks. I guess it was because how the light captured it or something, but these little tiny, tiny specks, this little cluster of tiny, tiny specks on his windshield. I saw it twice. If there's going to be more to this vision, I will let you know, okay? Also, I think I seen a map of just speckled dots. They may have been a different color. The vision was white or more like air or clear, like air bubbles. So, but they were tiny. Not they were tiny. So, what else? I don't know if this has to do anything with what may or may not happen with North Korea, but I just remember seeing it, and that was the only thing that I saw. One more thing. This dream about Jesus may have we were supposed to meet face to face this weekend, but then he had this one more thing to do, who I believe was representing Jesus. And he didn't have an expression on his face. He just knew that he had to do this one more thing, so that delayed his time. I don't think it's going to be delayed too much longer. I do believe maybe we have, maybe that I wasn't privy to that information about the one more thing that he had to attend to. Okay, so I'm just thinking, the great revelation sign, we will be here. And I think I had to dream because there may be some people who are inclined to think that we are probably going to go home, in a couple days because of the solar eclipse. I don't believe, from that solar system dream that I had with the eclipse, planets, moons, booths slash occult slash ingathering, and what I believe is the Revelation 12 sign, pointing to the Revelation 12 sign with the lady by the sun or the little girl by the sun. I believe that we will be here for all those events, but maybe perhaps that dream was to point to the fact that that we need to expect to be here. Jesus can come anytime, whenever the Father gives the. I just want to say that maybe there are some people that believe that, it's going to be sooner rather than later, and I'm thinking that like I said, my mind had already been set on at least September. Okay, us being here, but nonetheless, his coming is drawing nigh, and I think that also was part of the dream that boom, bam, he can show up anytime and expect to see us or want to see us face to face, because I was taken by surprise in that dream. I was actually quite shocked. So maybe it's an indicator that, one, I know that our time is drawing nigh, but two, it's just maybe one more thing. Maybe the Revelation 12 sign, maybe the beginning of war. I don't know. And one more thing, because I want to make two videos. As far as the pink room, there was another dream posted about this guy seeing pink. I think he had a vision of the heavenly kingdom, but also he had a vision of the moon and the sun out at the same time, and I think it gave off a pink hue. And I think it's just another confirmation that we will be seeing colors in our sky. But I'll leave his dream below so that you can check it out. It's a pretty interesting dream. And what else? as far as that pink room, me feeding those children leftovers, I totally forgot that I do have leftovers of spaghetti. But the spaghetti in this dream, and the whole room was pink. It was painted pink, and the carpet was pink. I just was remembering at the time when I made the video that the carpet was pink. And there was a little edge of dirt that I knew that I was going to be cleaning up, at the edge of the where the wall meets the carpet. Apparently I have been cleaning up, and I guess during the time I was starting to feed these children. So, and I knew I was going to attend to just that little edge of dirt that I need to vacuum or sweep or whatever. And I gave the children spaghetti, but the spaghetti wasn't like the spaghetti I actually have. It had chunks of meat in it, cut up sausages in it. And what I did was I wrapped it up in a red sandwich wrap. You know how they have sun-dried tomato sandwich tortilla wraps or green spinach wraps? I wrapped it up basically for them to be able to easily consume it. And I also remember being concerned about getting rid of perishable foods. No, getting rid of the perishable food and not letting it go to waste, which is how I am in real life. And we did finish up that spaghetti, me and my son. And also I do have those red wraps in my freezer. But in hindsight, I just didn't think about it. I just mentioned the fact that we need to have some perishable goods. But I knew my concern was, eating up what we did have. I'm not saying eat up all your perishable goods. But I was concerned about getting them, giving them what we had and making sure it didn't go to waste, and feeding them, those two children. And on the flip side of that, I do have a couple things I need to do as far as spiritual food. I realized that my visions didn't come back as strong as they were up until now, until I finished what the Lord told me to do in 1 Corinthians and this false prophets thing. I do have just one more thing to do, not so much on false prophets, but I'm going to do a thing on the Pharisees and the Sadducees, if the Lord willing, for me to finish it here soon with the time, having the allotted time to do it. And so that's it. I'm going to come back and make another video because I don't have my paper with me. And I just wanted to not leave out those couple details. Okay, you guys? I'll come back and talk with you in a minute.